it is important to mention that aside from responding to the Moses Kuria petition, we also saw the Azimio la Umoja party leader, the presidential candidate Raila Odinga, submit a written, give written submissions on his case, in which we have seen sort of some new element that is now before the court. And Raila Odinga and Martha Karua specifically want the cost of this suit to be on Wafula Chebukati, the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Remember, they argue that since in 2017 the Supreme Court did not want to touch Chebukati on the ruling or on the verdict that it eventually made, then that allegedly emboldened Chebukati and made him rogue. So this particular time they want the court to find Chebukati personally liable for the mismanagement or alleged mismanagement of this election, and they want the IEBC chair compelled to meet the costs of this suit that they have filed. Remember, tomorrow is the final deadline for submitting responses for all the respondents in this case. But what is happening today is that the William Ruto team is responding to these cases earlier. This is about a day earlier, because they were supposed to have finished responding to this case 4 days upon being served by the petition. Remember, they were all served on Tuesday, so the fourth day should be tomorrow, and by tomorrow, at around 2 p.m, we expect all the respondents, including IEBC commissioners in their individual capacity, who will also be expected to respond to this particular petition that was filed here. 9 petitions. Of course, we hope that by next week, it is largely anticipated that perhaps the petitions will be consolidated just to give the Supreme Court an opportunity to listen to these petitions. Perhaps the petitions that will be seeking sort of the same prayers may be consolidated, and we may get to see a smaller number of petitions being heard before the Supreme Court. But like I have said, the team of Kenya Kwanza, the team representing William Samoei Ruto, here currently led by immediate former Senator for Tharaka Nithi County, Professor Kithure Kindiki, is at the Supreme Court submitting the responses by William Ruto in the petition, in which his win to be the President of the Republic of Kenya on the elections conducted on the 9th of August 2022 is being challenged. Remember, according to what we really expect the Supreme Court to, the verdict the Supreme Court might give upon hearing and this particular matter, they may, one, uphold the win of William Samoei Ruto if they will not be convinced that there were irregularities that affected the election. They might as well sort of altogether nullify the presidential election, and that will have the country go to a fresh election within 60 days, as is envisaged under Article 140 of the Constitution. Or according to the Sections Act, according to the Elections Act, rather, they might decide to order for a recount. And if in that particular recount, according to Section 80, subsection 4 of the Elections Act, if under that recount a winner will be apparent, then the court will be at liberty to direct the Electoral Commission to grant the certificate to the winner of the election. But those are the options we are looking at. Perhaps, I repeat, upholding the win of William Ruto, or if not upholding the win of William Ruto, in which he will be sworn in immediately after, then they may find that the election was invalid, and thus they may force the country to go back to a fresh election within 60 days. That is according to Article 140 of the Constitution. Or according to the Elections Act, Section 80, subsection 4, they might order for a recount of the ballot. And if the winner is apparent, then they will order the Electoral Commission, IEBC, to grant the election certificate to the winner. And thus will have broken the stalemate. But so many days we are still waiting for. So many days we are waiting for here at the Supreme Court, even as this happens. Let me try see whether I can speak to the Uasin Gishu woman representative, Gladys Boschole. Mheshimiwa, we kindly beg to speak to you on NTV if you want to come with us. Perhaps on this particular petition, that on the response for William Ruto that you are filing or submitting at the Supreme Court. The deadline is not yet here. I know that you'll do the official, but perhaps tell us right now what you have been bringing these responses in batches. What exactly is happening?
do this. I do not want to have an interview outside before we finish with the rest of the team. As you can see, we are an extremely disciplined team. So we have a team leader, who is Professor Kindiki. I have senior counsel with me. So let's wait.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps in what you were the chief, you were part of the chief agents for William Samoei Ruto, and it was alleged that what was happening in the National Tallying Center perhaps would have invalidated the election. As a chief agent, perhaps not as a lawyer in the case, but as a chief agent, do you still believe that the win by William Ruto was valid, Mheshimiwa?
No. I told you I'm not making a statement now. Later.
Thank you so much. Well, that is Gladys Boss Sholei, the woman representative for Uasin Gishu County. Does not want to comment on the matter before the other members of the team in the legal team for William Ruto comment. But she says that they have a team leader who will speak. In that the team leader that we are currently seeing here is Professor Kithure Kindiki, and I'll just take you back through the list that I read for you for the members, the legal team rather, that will be representing William Ruto in this particular petition. Remember, in Raila Odinga's petition, William Ruto is listed as respondent number 9, and the team by William Ruto will be led by Fred Ngatia. I'm not seeing him in court right now. The person I am seeing in court is Professor Kithure Kindiki, who perhaps will give a comment on their response to this particular petition that was filed by Raila Odinga and Martha Karua, as well as the other petitions. Remember, in the Okia Omtata petition, in which he argues, just like Raila Odinga and Martha Karua argue, that in this election there was no winner no candidate who attained the requisite 50% plus 1 votes that is required to declare someone a president-elect rather. So all this we shall be seeing what their rebuttal will be, especially from Kenya Kwanza and the rebuttal from IEBC. According to the IEBC, when they were submitting the results transmission forms on Wednesday rather, they said that they are certain that they conducted a fair, free, transparent and verifiable election as is required by the Constitution, and they said that they will prove that in court in the next coming few days. But we still expect them, the IEBC, to be for submitting their final response to the petition tomorrow before 2 p.m. What they submitted on Wednesday were only, what they submitted on Tuesday rather, were only results transmission form, in that Form 34A, which was written at the polling station. Then there was Form 34B, which was also written at the Constituency Tallying Center, and Form 34C, which the National Tallying Center Wafula Chebukati used in declaring William Samoei Ruto the winner, as well as Form 34D. They say that that is what they presented to court on Tuesday, and not only in hard copy, not only in physical form, but they presented those forms as well in soft copy, because that was part of the requirement by the Raila Odinga team, in which they said 24 hours, or rather 48 hours upon filing their petition, then the IEBC, in which in their petition the IEBC is the first respondent, should be compelled to avail those particular documents. So on Wednesday rather, we saw about 7 or 8 hard disks being presented by the IEBC. We also saw forms in their thousands, because in terms of Forms 34A, we are talking about 46,229 forms which were used at polling stations, and that is what the IEBC presented. They also presented 291 Forms 34B, as well as Form 34C and Form 34D, all of which are results transmission form. Remember, Raila Odinga and Martha Karua are also saying that the results or the Kenya Integrated Electronic Management System, KIMS-KIT, that was sold, or that was given to the IEBC by Smartmatic, was sort of interfered with, and it could not offer an independent results. And that is also part of what the IEBC will be seeking to prove in their response, just to make sure that they defend their position, in which they say that the elections were free and fair, and that William Ruto was validly elected to be president of the Republic of Kenya. Lots of actions will be happening from the Supreme Court. Of course, the 7-judge bench will be led by Chief Justice Martha Koome, who will be hearing through this particular petition. Of course, the other judges include Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu. Then there are other judges who will be listening to this particular petition. Remember, according to how the bench is currently constituted, there are judges who will be listening to a presidential petition for the first time. There are also other judges who will be listening to the presidential petition for the second time, as well as judges who will be listening to the petition for the third time, because judges like Smokin Wanjala has been on the bench since 2013, when the petition in 2013 by Raila Odinga challenging Uhuru Kenyatta's win was being heard. Smokin Wanjala was in that bench that unanimously upheld Uhuru Kenyatta's win. The judges who will be listening to this particular matter for the first time include the Chief Justice herself, Martha Koome, and Justice William Ouko, who is the immediate former president of the Court of Appeal. And remember, in listening to this matter, listening to this particular matter, Justice William Ouko will be invited to actually, amongst other things, determine a matter that he was part of a bench that ruled on it in 2016. That is the minor Kiai case that has really been mentioned in this particular petition. Remember that time at when the Court of Appeal ruled that the results at the polling station is final, and Justice William Ouko, currently is a judge of the Supreme Court, was then a judge at the Court of Appeal, and he was amongst the 5 judges who listened to that particular matter in which IEBC had appealed against a ruling of the High Court in the minor Kiai case. Now, Justice Njoki Ndung'u has also been on that particular bench since 2013. This will be her 3rd presidential petition that she'll be listening to. This will be the 2nd presidential petition for Justice Isaac Lenaola. It will be the 3rd presidential petition for Justice Mohamed Ibrahim, even though he could not sit through the 2017 petition, of course, owing to ill health at that particular time. But he was a judge. He's part of the bench, the inaugural bench of the Supreme Court, the 7-judge bench that was constituted owing to the strength of Article 163 of the Constitution of Kenya. So our eyes still here at the Supreme Court. Immediately they give a comment on this particular matter, then our viewers are sure to get it fast from NTV and factual from NTV. Well, more submissions there, more files being submitted by the team representing William Samoei Ruto in the presidential petition that is challenging his win, as was declared by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. The team representing William Ruto has been bringing these particular responses in batches. We have seen this happening for the past about 1 hour. And that, what you can see right now, is confirmation from the judicial officers who are, or the staff of the judiciary here, who are confirming whether all that was needed was there, and actually receiving the documents from the legal team of William Samoei Ruto. We have seen that this is a response of Ruto, especially to the petition by his competitor Raila Odinga in the just concluded presidential election, in which Ruto was declared winner by the IEBC. And now both the IEBC and William Ruto finding themselves as respondents in this particular matter that has been filed before the Supreme Court. Like I said earlier, the team representing William Ruto, currently a battery of lawyers present at the Supreme Court. I have seen Senior Counsel Kioko Kilukumi as well, who is now here. There is also Professor Kindiki Kithure, the immediate former senator for Tharaka Nithi County, who is here, as well as the other lawyer I've seen, or the other person I've seen here, of course, in the interest of Ruto being the presidential candidate of her political party, is UDA Secretary General Veronica Maina, not a lawyer, but present by the fact that Ruto was flying the flag of UDA in this particular contest in which he was declared winner. I have received the petition, the response rather, by William Ruto to the Raila Odinga petition, and I will quickly go through what the key points in the petition by William Ruto and how he is responding to the alleged allegations that he worked in collusion with IEBC officers to alter the results that came, especially through Form 34A, from the 46,229 polling stations in which these elections were held across the country. Because according to Raila Odinga in his petition, there was what he termed as staging by, he says, some IEBC officers colluding with William Ruto, and especially mentioning a matter at the Bomas of Kenya in which he alleges that a laptop from one of the agents of William Ruto was confiscated, and in the laptop was found to be evidence that these particular elections were interfered with. So William Ruto is right now filing his response through his lawyers who are here. Like I have said, a battery of lawyers that has been lined up. And like I was mentioning even before going deep into the response by William Samoei Ruto, like I was saying, this is a matter that will be in the next couple of days before a 7-judge bench led by Chief Justice Martha Koome, as well as Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu. Now, Koome will be listening to this matter for the very, very first time, a presidential petition for the very, very first time, owing to her appointment to the Supreme Court and appointment as the Chief Justice just last year. And now having to deal with this. Also, Philomena Mwilu will be listening to this particular matter for the second time. The other judges on the bench, the 7 judges, Mohamed Ibrahim, Smoky Nwanjala, Isaac Lenaola, William Ouko, and Joaquin Ndungu, all have got different experiences in listening to this, hearing a presidential petition, because they have had this petition depending on the time that they joined the bench. Live pictures there of the team, the legal team representing William Ruto, that has just added onto their submissions here at the Supreme Court. They say that in each and every time that another vehicle comes, then be sure it is their submissions that are coming. And remember, they are not only respondents in the Raila Odinga petition. We had a total of 9 petitions that were filed at the Supreme Court, and William Ruto was named as a respondent in at least 7 of the petitions here. So we are still waiting for that time that they will be addressing us and telling us what exactly it is that they have brought here. Remember, they are ahead of the deadline. The deadline is tomorrow at 2 p.m. because the deadline for submission and or submitting response was 4 days upon being served. I don't know if Duncan can speak to us. Duncan, do you want to give us a comment on NTV? Well, He directs us to the chief agent. Of course, just like we saw the Uasin Gishu woman representative Gladys Sholei also avoiding to comment on this matter. I don't know if I can try to get closer to the lead lawyers in this petition to hear what it is that they are waiting for in terms of presenting the files in batches, perhaps to get to hear when next to expect. Let me try approach the lead lawyer Kioko Kilukumi or Professor Kivutha Kibwana and get to know what their comment will be, especially in bringing these petitions in their batches instead of bringing all of them together. I know eventually they will get to speak to all of us once all of this has happened. But let me just try this exclusively again on NTV. We have the lead counsels, the lead lawyers for William Samoei Ruto. Prof, live on NTV, perhaps we have seen you bringing the batches, the response for William Samoei Ruto in this petition in batches. The country would want to know, of course you are ahead of the deadline, but the country would want to know how so far as the legal team representing William Ruto, you are taking this particular petition, challenging his presidential win.
As we are ready, we're just complying with the legal process. We know the deadline is tomorrow. We are ready, and for now we're just waiting for one last batch, and then we shall be able to talk officially on why we are here today and what we've done, and then the rest we meet in court from Monday. Yes. Well,
of course, we are all looking forward to the battle in court, but we would want to know, because this will be the very first time as the legal team for William Ruto, you're making a comment on public. How do you take the petition, all the petitions in which your client has been mentioned as a respondent?
No, we don't want to litigate our matter in the public court, because there's a court of law, the Supreme Court. That is the theater of litigation. So I think let us restrict ourselves to today's activity, which is filing our responses one day before deadline, and then when the last consignment comes, we'll be able to tell you something formally and leave it at that. But we would not want to litigate our case in the public court. That will be unprofessional on the of these colleagues.
Fair enough, but your competitors in the just concluded elections are speaking in public and expressing confidence that they are going to emerge as the winners in this particular case in court. Do you have confidence that you will win this suit? And perhaps let me just put it to you, do you have confidence that the win by William Ruto as declared by IEBC was indeed legitimate?
We will not litigate our matter in the public court, because we will do so in court. As to what our feel is about our defense, we'll be talking shortly, but we will not do anything because the petitioners or any other party in the suit is prosecuting their matter in the public court. We will not fall in that trap.
Chief, if you allow me,
yes.
Chief, if you permit me, if you permit me, Chief, just to let them know, we also look at this as a great opportunity to be able to explain to the world and the rest of Kenyans that William Ruto did legitimately win. Because if you don't have this process, then people may always doubt. So this is a welcome process.
We are building jurisprudence.
Thank you.
We will help them build the jurisprudence.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, there you've had it from Professor Kithure Kindiki, the immediate former senator for Tharaka Nithi County, and Gladys Boss. That is the woman representative for Uasin Gishu County. With them also is the UDA Secretary General, Veronica Maina. I can as well see lawyer Kioko Kilukumi, as well as immediate former governor for Makueni County, Professor Kivutha Kibwana, who just crossed the fence the other day, by the way, and will be representing William Ruto in this particular suit at the Supreme Court. And the other lawyers who are in this suit at the Supreme Court, like I said, this is a matter that will be ongoing for a couple of days. The court has up until the 5th to give its final verdict, and in the verdicts that they will be giving, they will decide, one, whether to uphold the win by William Samoei Ruto as was declared by the IEBC. They can as well decide to overturn the election altogether and send the country back to another election in 60 days as envisaged in Article 140 of the Constitution, or just maybe, as is being touted by the other side, that is Raila Odinga, the court may decide to borrow from the Elections Act, Section 80, subsection 4, an order for a retally, and if the winner will be apparent, then order the Electoral Commission, IEBC, to grant the election certificate to the winner. And thus will lead to the other process, that is of the swearing in of the president-elect and a new government being formed. But of course, in the next couple of days, I think about less than 10 days now remaining, all eyes from the Republic will be centered here at the Supreme Court of Kenya as the 7-judge bench led by Chief Justice Martha Koome, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, and the other 5 judges, like I said, Isaac Lenaula, Smokin Wanjala, who are in this particular who will be sitting on this bench, Isaac Lenaula, Smokin Wanjala, Njoki Ndongo, Mohamed Ibrahim, and William Ouko, will be determining if indeed the elections, then the results as declared by the IEBC, were free, fair, valid, verifiable as envisaged in the Constitution or not. So all our eyes in the next couple of days, even as Wamboi still gives us these live pictures from the Supreme Court, will be here, especially here on NTV.